As you know, Shabby Fabrics loves to bring you great new notions when we find them. We have done that. We all know that half square triangles are a very common block in many quilts, right? I design with them all the time. Sometimes people don't enjoy drawing that line, having to track a 1/4 inch on either side, the traditional way that we all use to, well, we all learn to make half square triangles. There's a better mousetrap out there, and I'm absolutely loving this new notion, new to us at least. Clearly perfect slotted trimmers make incredible half square triangles. I love the technique that this uses to get us incredible, perfect half square triangles, and the dog ears are trimmed. We skipped the line, having to track left and right to make your traditional half square triangles. We don't have to trim up the dog ears. Yes, I know, I probably have your attention at this point. This is so cool. Lots of size options. We'll be able to make half square triangles as small as 1 inch finished and all the way up to 6 inch finished with this particular trim set. There are 2 larger trimming units that are on the Shabby website right now, but today I want to step us through the original set, and then the others came along a little bit later. What a cool way, right? Most of the time, this is going to get us the sizes we need because, well, most of the time, our half square triangles are certainly within this range. In fact, with the trimmer A, let's just focus on that from the top here. Notice that we start with 1.5 inch half square triangles finishing at 1, 2.5 finishing at 2, all the way up to 6.5 finishing at 6. That's a nice range. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options, and because of the slits here that are in these corners, it trims off the dog ears. I can't wait to show you how to use that. I just want to unpack for the B trimmer. Let's just switch this to the B side here. Same concept, same idea. But 2 inch will finish at 1.5, 3 at 2.5, all the way up to 6 inches that will finish at 5.5. So how does this work? The first thing I want you to do anytime you're using the slotted trimmer is, because of the way we have these beautiful triangles coming in, you can see this is a triangle. What do we all know about cutting on those angles, right? Bias starts to happen. So when you're getting ready to use your clearly perfect slotted trimmers, give your fabric plenty of sizing so it's just really kind of drawn up, providing a lot more stability. The next thing I highly recommend you doing is to go ahead, if you're going to be using a strip piece unit like we did, I would rather make multiples of the same. In our instruction, we even have a free download, guide you into cutting your strips by 21. That's a nice measurement, right? Half the width of a fabric. What we found when we made our half square triangle units in a variety of sizes, and that's just some of the sizes, these make more than that, those sizes. Go ahead and give each of your fabrics a good sizing and press. Before you cut out your strips, merge your fabrics together, press them together, and I even cut these units together. That way they're married together from the very beginning. And what's fun about this is after the cut, we simply sew a 1/4 inch on either side. What this produces is actually like a tube. I'm not used to doing that as a maker. I'm used to, whenever I'm doing normally patchwork of any kind, sewing on one side but not the other. This is what makes this a lot of fun, and it also helps us really get a lot of yield out of each of these strip units that we might create. All right, in this particular case, I'll put this aside. We have provided for you a simple little pattern here, just a suggestion of what you can do. We have an alternative layout here of what you could do, kind of a cute chevron. Obviously, at the time of filming, the 4th of July is still coming, America's 250 celebration, so lots of patriotic things on the set with us. This is something you could easily put together in half a day, so maybe pick this up and do something kind of last minute for the big celebration coming up. I couldn't resist choosing a tabletopper size where I just decided I like a block that finishes at 4 inches. So with my columns and rows of 8 by 8, 8 times 4 is 32, right? We know we have a raw edge over here that we add binding to. Nice table topper size, 32.5 by 32.5. That was just my idea. This is why on page 2 of our free download, we also let you know if you want to do different sizes, what size that would finish to. So maybe you do 3.5 inch, finishing at 3. You'd have 24.5 by 24.5. And that would be what you cut your strips to, how many of the half square triangles you get out of each strip set that we have here, and how many binding strips to add binding. So we just put this out there as an idea of something if you're looking for like, oh, hey, that's fun to make half square triangles, but I want a project. So now you have either one of those layouts and you have your variations of sizes. So again, getting back to us, we just decided we really liked that size. 32.5 is a great table topper. So in that instance, I simply look at my trimmers and say, okay, which one is going to give me that 4-inch finish? And I see that it happens to be trimmer A. So we've already sized our fabric, we pressed it together so there's good contact, we cut this fabric out together, we sewed our 1/4 inch on either side, creating kind of a tube, but we're nice and flat. Here's where the magic comes in, and this works beautifully with a spinning mat, keeping your cuts safe. All right, let's look at our tool. I see my 4.5 inch, and notice there's a line right beneath that. I'm going to put that dashed line exactly on my stitch line. That's why it's there. It's helping you understand that's where you sewed. Now that I've put that in place, I'm applying pressure to come across. I'm going to rotate my mat so I'm making a safe cut. Now I want you to focus on toward the bottom of this here. There are slots all along the way, but there's only 2 slots that are correct to cut on. And that's going to be this slot here and this slot here. Just remember, it's the slot that's closest to the bottom where the stitch is, because this is the portion that's actually going to be trimming off those dog ears. I have a half square triangle right now. I have that right now, but I'll also have dog ears. So this extra trimming that we're doing right now, that's what you're accomplishing. So let's just put that right back into position on my dash line. I come into my slot. I'm going to rotate this, come into the slot. Now, when I take it to my mat, you have the choice of either pressing that seam open or pressing it to one side. If in this case, if I'm making this particular project, I'm going to press my seams open. I like that option. Everything lays nice and flat. I use my presser bar over the top to help open that seam up. It's very stiff because of all the sizing we added here. If I was going to be making a pinwheel where I'd like to see some interlocking seams, I might press my seam to the dark. But for this particular project, pressing these seams open is my preference. Flip this over. I'm going to put my clapper on the top. But look, I have no dog ears to trim off. Isn't that incredible? Now you're like, okay, what about the rest of that fabric? So we did this cut, right? You saw me do this. Here's why we sewed on both sides. I simply turn the tool, remembering that I am going to be able to set that right on my dashed line. And look, we've already cut this. You don't have to scoot over. I'm going to maximize my fabric. I have a beautifully cut line. Use it. Use it. Scoot over here so that we're right along where we just cut. We're right along here on our dashed line. And if that is an awkward vantage point and you prefer to cut this way, rotate this however you want to do. But this is a good vantage point for me. Scoot that over just slightly. Make that cut. Remember, the only slots that are correct to cut on are the one that are the closest to the bottom of that right here. I'm going to rotate that back so I'm in a safe position. And right there. Okay, here we go again. Press. Open that seam allowance, right? However you choose to do it. Let's just get in there and make it work. Is that so cool? Every single time you have a perfect half square triangle in just record time. Even if you don't want to have a strip that's by 21 and you just have leftovers, that works. Get your two fabrics, right? Make contact, sew on one side, sew on the other side, and now you're going to be able to put your tulle in there. And of course, I could go back here and do another one. Let's see how we want to do this one. We have the option of, let's see, what are we going to do here? We are on our, getting myself a little bit turned around here. We know we could do one more here. Let's see if it makes more sense to come down here. Nope. In this particular case, we would come to our 4.5. I'm in the perfect spot. I'm going to trim. I'll trim. Get that slot. Get this slot. Here we are again. Here we go. What a cool way to make half square triangles. A couple other sizes here. That was a trimmer A. Trimmer B. I have my strips. Just, you already know, I had sizing, ironed everything to make good contact, cut them out together, sewed top and bottom 1/4 inch. Now I'm going to grab for trimmer B. Same story. I say, okay, I want to set that on the 3. Right there. Cut. Rotate, cut, up. I lifted up. While I'm down here, I'm going to cut my, I could see putting one of those grippy dots, one in that corner and one in that corner, because we're never really down there probably. Possibly a grippy dot here so things don't move. And those are from the Gypsy Quilter. Might be a great addition just so things aren't moving. And now we're off again to the races here, pressing this open. So this is, I think, one of the funnest ways to make half square triangles that historically have felt like a chore, right? Normally we have our two fabrics right side together. We draw a line diagonally, just like this. We have to track 1/4 inch to the left. We have to track 1/4 inch to the right, right? And now we're cutting down the middle and we have two half square triangles. And it does the work, and we have to trim off the dog ears. This is way more fun. So if we can find a tool that makes what we're doing more fun, more accurate, and helps us save time, that's an easy yes for me. So whether you just need to do half square triangles to add them to a project you already have, maybe you're inspired to do this layout or maybe kind of the chevron, whatever that is, head to the Shabby website to pick up the Clearly Perfect slotted trimmers. You'll get both of those in the one pack here. Obviously you can see this does very well with the spinning mat. Super important, you've got a nice, fresh, clean blade in that rotary cutter to make clean cuts every single time. So I'm so glad, and actually they reached out to me to introduce their product, and it looks like the designer's Carrie Carr. Carrie, good job. They're from New Leaf. I love that. Christian-owned family business. Let's support them by just pressing into this incredible tool. They've done a wonderful job of designing that, truly bringing a solution to makers and making half square triangles way more fun. Thanks for giving me a few minutes of your day to show you these amazing tools from New Leaf and Shabby Fabrics.